Back to the UNCW Esports broadcast. We are going to be hopping right into today's matchup. My name is Zero Fight, and we are going to be going up against University of Delaware Academy, I believe, today. Just starting straight into this, we are going to be over on Abyss. UNCW starting on the defense with Delaware over on that attack. Straight into the pistol round. It's just been a little bit of a slow prod over towards that middle area, not wanting to overcommit. Dart finally coming back online, going to scan, but it's all a ruse. Seekers over on this A site, that all left to do. Dizzy comes out, dash onto the site. A great opener, but quickly traded back. Site will be claimed in exchange for a few bodies. The swing out from BrodoBaggins in the smoke, not expected from Ghost. And the Shock Dart doing insane work onto Shia. And now it's in a 2v3 for the attackers. One goes down. Phylosium. Dart goes out, scans. Owen not be able to spam down. BrodoBaggins. And now it's onto the water bead all by himself, but knife in hands can't get it done. And Owen cleans up that first round, and that's going to be the pistol going to UNCW. A little bit of a messy one in the post plant there. Delaware not really able to settle themselves and find a situation that was working out for them. I like the idea to go into mid, work the map just a little bit, and then go back into that A site. And you see the pings coming out on the map already of the places to potentially smoke, not wanting to get caught off again by that backside area. It can be pretty difficult to hold on to if you don't have a lot of those strong weapons. So on this pistol buy, we're just going to be looking to get this bomb down, maybe farm up a few ultimate orbs. Drone coming out could be traded with that fragment grenade. But Seekers is on this line with the Marshall. One taps to the body. He can't hit the shot. Straight in the face, onto the leg. Able to get one. The dart pings him out. 19 HP. He's so low. And a wonderful pop flash from NCrane. And now BrodoBaggins just coming in. There's 4 players over on this A site. Not a single player anywhere else except for the lurk. From the Cypher, look at great water beam. Do they expect this? They are ready for it. Owen turns at the perfect time, and now it's all left. Shuya. And it can't be done. 4 alive. 4 guns gonna be brought into that. Just, you know, throwing away 200 credits. Why not, Seekers? You know, we are gonna be purchasing up just a little bit.
Holding position. No.
On the other side, you do have University of Delaware Academy finally being able to get a purchase online. A Guardian for Greater Waterbean. But other than that, it's pretty solid. And I mean, the bonus though for UNCW is looking pretty nice. I cannot lie. That's an interesting flash bug. Just trying to push any early aggression away. A great 0 point. It only scans 1 though. Ghost not getting tagged by that. However, you are typically expecting the Soba to be with the pack whenever he gets scanned, so it may be a little bit of an indication of where this site hit may end up ending. You only have 1 player here. We're going to be opting to play that retake. Great smoke and dart to come online, just dropping down. The plant is going to come down, but you already have all these players over on this A site. Seekers on the flank as well, the updraft over the trip, and it's going to be a quick flood in. Phylosium and NCrane able to get 1 help, finally trading it back, getting 2 as well. Still in a disadvantageous situation. Do they know about Seekers? They don't. He's able to get 1, and now it's all once again less to Ghost. 1v3 situation here, and now Owen able to get it done, and it is a great bonus round to finally get them onto the board. A little bit of a messy one for the side of UDA. Not really able to make that work. It's going to be a bit rough going into this round. now. I don't know what the situation is going to be for the side of UDA. Dark comes out, and Seekers, that is going to be noted out if they spot the Cloudburst. And if he goes down here, which he is not going to, just peeking down this middle, able to get one, Owen able to get the next, and Seekers not afraid of anything, just running down towards mid, towards that opposition, trying to build up that Blaze Storm early. And he wants the 4K. I mean, just asserting dominance early on, it cannot hurt. And now Greater Waterbeam with the Deagle in hands. Not much left to do except for a great shot to the dome. But he has 4 or more players to get through if he really wants to make a round out of this. Maybe just try to get bombed down, get a little extra money for his teammates. Maybe a weapon or two out of the opposition's hands. But going in to the next round, that's where I'm really going to be looking for this adjustment to come out from UDA. We need to see a bit of a switch up. They haven't even explored over towards that B. I don't think I've seen a single player touch that side of the map.
I know exactly where you are.
Able to get one, does commit ultimate. I'm not sure about committing that neural theft there, as you're so low HP. The time's not in your favor, and while it is a 6-cost ult, I mean, there's just not really a point in throwing it in the round. And like I was saying, we are getting into the 5th round here. I need to see a little bit of a switch up from the Delaware Academy. You are already seeing this. Getting ready.
I am
towards this
now.
B sites, and I am joined by my co-guy, Old Brown Banana. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. Little bit of time issues as is the case, but always good to be back in Seekers. A beautiful opening pick with the off. Dashes off the map and saves himself with that jump. So already 4-0 here. Is that UNCW side on defense. Seekers getting the op up early, and I think that's going to be a big key to continuing to win these rounds. We've seen his impact already with those opening picks.
Yeah, his aggression as well, not being relenting, and I think if that continues on with his operator play, going on to the defense and even bringing out the attack operator, I think it could find a lot of value for this UNCW side.
Here.
The Gecko just trying to get a little bit of info as Greater Waterbeam is going to get this A site. Spam, just a full spam from the heaven position. El Toro able to trade it out, but
BrodoBaggins is a beautiful flick.
Spike planted.
Killing El Toro and Kelp as well. 1 player left. Just the Astro, but still having to come into A main. Smoke already, and the tap will force out an early swing. Owen already on the aggressive line, and Jiggles here from the Astro. Gets the first though, and Broderick sticking this behind the smoke. Shua has a chance to do it all in the 1v3. Ron already to half. Pulls the classic out, but NCrane will close things out. That's UNCW getting to 5.
and that is a huge round to keep on this momentum. I mean, Banana, whenever you think of Abyss, excuse me, I mean, you're not really thinking of it being in a defense-sided map. I mean, you have the post-plant spam, and you even see this comp that UDA came out with, the Gecko, you have the Soba, you have the Astra, you have all of this post-plant utility, yet they're not able to actually get any value from it, and they finally are putting a stop to it, coming out with this timeout, and trying to find a reaction, and trying to find an adjustment, because, I mean, nothing's working, and I kind of feel like, I mean, Seekers specifically is kind of just disrespecting anything they do and just getting away with it for free.
Yeah, and that's typically what you're going to see from this UNCW side. Of course, Abyss is one of the maps that, since it's come into play, they've been heavily favoring it. Especially players like Seekers on that aggressive op tend to thrive on the defensive side. I mean, like you mentioned, just disrespecting the other team. And this timeout should allow them to slow it down, figure out how they're actually going to attack on this side, figure out what, you know, UNCW has been doing on that on their defensive setups.
Yeah, and I would like to honestly just see them adjust over towards that B setup. We are going to see the Cypher set up Phylosium over on this A site, which they had been leading heavily towards. But I mean, with Astrowall online, you have the Hunter's Fury and the Thrash. You can maybe poke and prod a little into middle and then pivot over back towards that B site.
Here.
You have a lot of tools to actually be able to get onto the bomb site. And then once you get the bomb down, you have an insane amount of post plant. But that is not what you want to be seeing. Another opening pick for Seekers with that operator. And you know he has that online. We can't just be try swinging these angles. I mean, if you're being there, you need to have a cam, you need to have a cage, or you need to get a Sova to get you up on that line. Because their current strategy and their current approach to these early rounds is just straight up not it, I hate to say.
Yeah, a lot of dry walks, just like we see from El Toro there. I mean, you have 2 initiatives. There isn't really an excuse for not using util, as Seekers will continue their dominance. It is only an eco round, though, of course, so the changes that we'll see from should come in on the next round. Seekers continuing to frag out, Philo getting in on the action as well, but that's 6 for UNCW, and this is the round that we need to see the changes if this attack side is going to recover.
Yeah, definitely so. Like I was saying, we do have those ultimates online now, the Blade Storm, to just be that finishing touch. And this operator, they really haven't had a solid strategy to play around it. They are going to be grouping up over towards that A site. It will be the week with just NCrane there. He doesn't have the null command either, so it's just going to be a knife. But, I mean, we saw in those opening rounds how devastating the knife can be to these site execs, especially if you get caught when you're, like, using the Thrash or something, and it just gets completely canceled out. It's not really what you want. You do have that second life. And, look, they're just contacting up the drone. And this has been the same play they've gone for 3 rounds now. The contact up, the drone to the one-way, and then this knife comes out, and they're kind of stalled out. They can't get past the one-way just because it gets broken early. The flash comes out, and look, this is really their only approach. And they are going to get one on alert, which will be a good setup. Owen getting punished.
But NCrane is the only one on site there, and after getting pinged out by the Thrash, let's see if it is BrodoBaggins will be there to defend NCrane as he was detained. And that's the Thrash gone as well. It's too far away to recover for that second life. You still have Hunter's Fury and Cosmic Divide online, but it looks like UNCW not going to give him a second to breathe. Kelp stifling the retake. 3 quick kills. And there it is. Shua closing things out now. Finally, that's a round on the board. But is it a little bit too late?
Now we're talking. Don't jinx it though. Stay humble.
It might be, but like you were saying, it's exactly what they need to get it online. And Kelp coming out with a great 3K to finally get UDA on the board. And when you do have such a deficit in rounds, even like, I don't know that the strategy there was anything super amazing, but just being able to frag out and pick up 3 kills on your own, it can be a good confidence booster, most definitely, to just kind of get you back into the game mentally and get you just kind of back into that moment, get you back into the flow. And look at this, Seekers going aggressive again. Oh my.
Oh my, Seekers disrespecting all the utility, but still, one good thing from that UDA attack side was last round they only had to invest 1 ultimate. Still 2 on the board, but NCrane taking a little peek at that one-way. Spotted out by El Toro, but opting to just hold down this back of sight, and I don't think there's enough util to actually dig him out. NCrane, though, will back off, cede the space, and let UDA take bomb site.
Yeah, I think they have to wait for these Astra Smokes to come back online. It can be hard without the Jet entry, but they are just going to commit wall here. I like this Banana with the Gecko plant. Just get bomb down, and then they have so much util for post. But that's an insane fragment grenade to get the bomb down, and now they know exactly what's up. The ruse is not going to work.
Last player
But
standing.
just holding
Spike
the Cosmic
down
Divide. Again, this UDA side, another 3K. El Toro and Shua, though, left in 2v1. The dart
30
should
seconds
reveal.
left.
Spots out where BrodoBaggins is now.
I have the spike.
It's very winnable. Shrouded Step to sow some doubt into the minds of these UDA players, but with 20 seconds left, eventually they're gonna have to stick this spike.
One enemy remaining.
Shua has an idea, and BrodoBaggins gets both. Yet another clutch. UNCW just continuing to expand their dominance into this game.
Yeah, and BrodoBaggins with the insane piece. And he was able to get that clutch off of the back of, I mean, those UDA players. You had Shua just kind of sitting in a main as Toro was going to plant the bomb. He was able to isolate that one fight, and it just, I want to see a bit more fundamentals in those moments. You can't rely on hero plays if you want to win this map against UNCW. We've seen how strong they can be in the past, how dominant their performances have been.
The individual prowess of these UNCW players gets them out of a lot of bad situations.
Yeah.
I mean, and it feels like when they are in those man advantage situations, like we saw last round, like 4v3s, 5v3s, they just don't lose because their fundamentals are so solid. So it seems like UNCW gets a lot of rounds out of the hat, but actually Seeker's aggression finally punished by Shua, just sitting towards that bottom mid position now.
And that's the second time he's picked up a frag down bottom mid. I like the aggression to get that info, but I would like just to see a little bit more of a pause whenever you get to that little corner right next to that blue X. And look at this from NCrane. He's just running down. Not 100% about that one, but they are going to get this site for free. And this is looking good for the side of Delaware.
Yeah, this should be a free site, and in the 5v3 they should be able to. Like we mentioned, the individuals from UNCW have known to pull rabbits out of hats that seemingly don't exist. But this one maybe
one enemy remaining.
Philo has that flank red, and now it's a 1v5. BrodoBaggins was able to work some magic in the previous round, but this one may be a bit too far out of reach.
Yeah, I think this one is a done deal, signed and closed for BrodoBaggins. Looking in to the future, if they're able to string some rounds together here, this definitely is doable. While it may not be an attack-sided map, or while it may not be a defense-sided map, excuse me, I do think, I mean, it's very easy to, I mean, get these rounds together, especially if you start feeling yourself. Ghost specifically is who I'm looking at, who needs to get online here. 2 and 8 currently. You need your jet player to be active, to try to string these rounds together. They've been able to get 2, but if Ghost comes online,
Let's fly.
they surely will see more success, and especially going onto that defense. But look at this aggressive play by Seekers. He's going to be bet by 3 players, UDA.
Spotted out by the knife, and Seekers wisely deciding to back off. Still has that Blade Storm pop, but only 4 knives remaining. And like we mentioned, we're looking at Ghost to be the tip of that spear as the Hunter's Fury comes out, but doesn't look like it'll get any tags as UDA just backing off, opting to flip the map, and
I know
being
exactly where
on the
you
flank,
are.
winning out the Cypher head-to-head, and that's the neural theft invested now, revealing where these players are. Brodo making a mad dash to top mid to try and get out, and Shua still on the lurk is that Astra.
Yeah, that was a huge kill to pick up for Waterbeam. Able to get the first, but look at this, instantly the response.
Toro not noted towards heaven, but it's actually Brodo to get that wallbang headshot with that Guardian now. 2 players
One
left.
enemy remaining.
You do still have the Thrash, but in a 1v4, I don't know what Kelp can do.
Not much. The dart comes out, pings him as well.
And that should be the round done and
Yeah,
dusted.
you just gotta save. You don't have money to go into the next, and they got 1 kill. Kelp able to get a few just freebies there at the ends, but all for Nye. He loses his life, loses his gun, and I mean, Phylosium was picked off early by the water beam,
Money if anyone needs.
and then there was no space capitalized. He walked back before he walked forward, and by the time that the entire UDA side got to A sites, I mean, so was UNCW. That should not be happening. You need to get the bomb down. You need to be more concise with your comms and get the rotations coming out earlier. 8-2 for UNCW.
But
And once
still,
again, this aggression.
Null Command is online for that defensive side. Seekers trying to get ahead of the rest of this UDA team, pinged out and forced to dash back now. Finally, you see the investment of the Hunter's Fury, but the moves from Seekers unable to escape as Kelp will be able to capitalize now. Another man advantage situation for UDA, but sight still not been cracked. Ghost, the tip of the spear, diving in. Pop flash out from NCrane, but Finally, the bomb should be going down. Brodo tries to slip in backside, and there's Kelp to capitalize. A 5v3 post plant now.
Yeah, and this alert from Greater Waterbean as well. It's going to put so much pressure that door break. He's just going to go back and group up with Shuya now. This just is going to be so much pressure on the back line. Don't know what he can do. The suck comes out, but it's not tucked. I don't think they know. He's just sticking it.
Finally taken out, and Ghost able to get a 2-piece into that one. That's 3 on the board for UDA, but a bit closer than it should have been.
That was so close. I don't know how that gravity well ended up missing there, but Tora luckily able to get the kill onto Phylosium, and that's an important round to secure for the attackers. They're going to be looking to grab one more, and a perfect round to do it. Whenever
UNCW.
Yeah, look at this buy.
Weapons, yeah. Guardian, Vandal, an Ares, a Bulldog, and a Sheriff on NCrane. So they have the tools to do it. Cosmic Divide and Thrash are online for UDA.
Yeah, but they've had this Thrash, I mean, almost a whole half, and they haven't used it. I mean, whenever you think of Thrash, sure, it got nerfed to have 8 ult points instead of 7, but it's still so easy to cycle over and over again. They finally are going to commit it here.
And it's broken by the null command. NCrane coming in at the perfect time. But this hit will continue to come in from UDA. Finally stalled out, and they're just backing off now. And look at the flank from Seahawks already. So aggressive. All 10 players are on this side of the map now. Let's see if Seahawks will be able to get some. They think they cleared the flank. They thought that was it, but...
Look at this. He's knife out. He's going to be able to get one.
And there it is. The backstab finally coming in. Spots out all 4 players. Shua will able to remove the threat from the backlines. That's still 4 players alive on the side of UNCW. Cosmic Divide coming in. A beautiful double swing. Able to remove that side anchor now. And that's free sight. But these UNCW players are still close to flood in.
30 seconds left.
They are on those lower weapons like we were talking about earlier. Still have some util. The dart comes out. Doesn't get anything, and Kelp gets the flank. And that was this winning piece for UNCW.
2 players still left into this one. Weaker weapons on them. Knife comes out from NCrane. Nice to stick. Owen watching, and El Toro swings out on sight. That's 4 rounds. But UNCW going into this attack side still heavily favored.
Yeah, great defense for that UNCW side. And I really liked the aggression that they were coming out with. I mean, almost every single round. And to be honest, I don't even know how many of those rounds they were even getting the first bloods. Sometimes, I mean, pretty often they were getting punished by specifically the likes of Shua. But I think the way they were able to follow up on that, as well as just convert those like disadvantageous situations in the 1v3, 2v4s, able to pick those up, just kind of push them over the line. And now I'm going to be looking at Seekers to continue that aggression and be that spearhead, like you were saying, for this attacking side. They're going to be going over towards this middle area, trying to see if there's any peaks, anyone that they can get their hands on. Shua getting a little too close.
Not much damage. Will force out the drone from this defensive side, but still UNCW deciding what they're going to do into this one. Ghost with that Sheriff, ironically, holding towards this top position, seeing if they can spot out the lurk, and this off angle, I don't know if they can connect it. Lines up the first, unable to land the second one, is barely surviving is Philo. But that's a 4v4 now.
On what, like 2 HP there? That's ridiculous. But they are going to be going over towards that A side. It was all a ruse on B, and it's just Philo, or it's just Waterbean, excuse me, to get it down. And the right click through the smoke gets the kill onto NCrane.
But Kelp is still on site, and I don't think they have the read on this. Able to get the backstab onto one, but cannot transfer his shots. BrodoBaggins and Philo are left alone. HP advantage in favor of UDA.
My eyes are better than yours.
There's Philo getting 2 with the dig. 2 players left, but will be closed out by Shua, and that's a huge pistol to convert.
A bit unfortunate. They're trying to pop the cyber cage and ended up hopping onto the rope there. And like you said, it's exactly what UDA need to get back into this match if they want any chance of taking Abyss and putting themselves up in this series. And you know, I think that KO versus the Gecko is definitely an interesting argument, as well as the Astra, especially after those Astra buffs. You don't have the 5 stars, you don't have the gravity well to help you in that post plant. You're really looking towards the aggressiveness of that paranoia, as well as the Omen piece to kind of help your jet entry supplement, kind of as a second duelist, not really, but kind of assist in that role of playing aggressive. But I do like the KO specifically. I think it allows for Seekers to be set up very nicely, especially with a lot of these pop flashes. So I'll be looking to see how they decide to go about this.
Here.
Seekers with that deagle in hand, I just want to see them try to get a bomb down, maybe farm up some ultimate orbs, so they could get that Hunter's Fury, that null command up pretty early. Be a huge tool to be able to start to snowball this back into their favor and close out Abyss.
Yeah. We see them playing a bit slow. We've seen the Deagles from UNCW steal them a couple of rounds in the past, but let's see if UDA plays smart enough to actually avoid that. The stack of these UNCW players is coming in towards that B site. 2 players, though, are here to receive. As the hit comes in, Ghost gets ahead of it with the Bulldog, and that's the first one going down now. Ghost with 2, and that's what you're looking for, your jet to get active. Plays in El Toro, that's 2 more off the back of that. Philo able to get 1 for his troubles, but it's barely any HP. There it is. And that's a pretty clean anti-eco round, which should lead them into a pretty strong bonus.
Yeah, we saw very similar scenes last half for the pistol that UNCW was able to pick up. 4 players surviving, a few armor rebuys, as well as maybe a weapon or 2, but I believe that Shua only carried a Deagle into this round, so should be able to at least get a Guardian or a Bulldog online as well. Be seeing very shortly, but they're able to convert this bonus round, Banana. I think, I mean, it'll be 7, 8, and we'll be right back into this. It doesn't look like Shua will be committing to purchasing that Vandal, which I honestly kind of like to see.
Right there.
Because other than that, you just have some Spectres, a Bulldog,
Here.
and
Here.
I mean, looking at the mini map, there's not a single player over towards this B site where UNCW is headed towards. It's a triple push down middle.
Here.
They will be able to be ready for this flash flank. Philo.
Triple spot them, but I don't know if UNCW will be ready for all of these players from UDA. And there it is, Trip is broken, which will finally alert his presence on the flank. Philo from that window, able to get 1, but dashes out is Ghost. The Vandal from UNCW, these rifles keep showing their strength compared to the weaker weapons of UDA. And it's now left alone onto Greater Waterbean. Some heroics would be necessary, but at this point, just looking for some exits. Seekers trying to get the 1-tap, just taps into the body. And that's the bonus denied. UNCW expanding their lead.
As flawless as it could get, not a single bit of damage being done to the UNCW side. Like you were saying, I mean, that null command as well, getting online super early for NCrane. And they will be headed over towards Greater Waterbean's site.
We got this. We got this.
If he gets shut down, and I mean, I would like to see him play an anti-KO ult setup, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be him and Kelp to try to receive this. Shua will be here as well. I think this is just going to be a quick hit.
The Cypher's running away, but I don't think he got away far enough. And that's the null command shutting things down now. Trip removed from sight. The Seekers will dash in, and that's sight given up. UDA will play this as a 5v5 retake. Kelp and Shua sitting towards that spawn position as the rest of these players get in towards heaven. Seekers on the rope. It's Ghost who went out that fight, and that's the first barrier broken onto site now. All of these 4 players playing for that post-plant spam. BrodoBaggins gets 1, and that's the neural theft online, and that'll reveal these players 4v4, but the clock is still ticking. And once these players are revealed now, Ghost gets 1, but there's nowhere near
No
And
charge
there's the
block.
frags. Left alone is Owen, but an overwhelming swarm is UDA as they flood back in to convert that retake.
Yeah, and a great retake from that UDA side. And Seekers there was the sole player on the site. They kind of just sent him in, and everyone else fell back to A main to kind of play that post-plant spam that we've come to see not much love, but come to expect on a lot of these Abyss post-plants. I think that kind of bit them in the butt. They weren't, I mean, Seekers went up the rope trying to get a little greedy, maybe get one for his troubles, but instantly punished by Ghost. And when you have 4 players in main and there's 5 retakers, I mean, it's just so hard to win out that spam battle, especially when there's so much utility for those retakers. And I think I need to see a little bit, I mean, maybe a play over towards that back site, maybe have two or three players on site with Seekers, some supporting utility. I do like the spam ideas. I like that concept, but you have to have an extra layer. It can't be the only game plan for your post plant, or you're simply going to lose. And we see the timeout coming out from the coach, trying to make an adjustment early on in the half, not wanting to see similar mistakes again. But that was the KO ult burned pretty early into this half. A huge pivotal. And on the other side, El Toro's 1 away from that Hunter's Fury. Shua 1 away from that Cosmic Divide. Both great ultimates for that retake. And it's going to be a group up over towards this B site. Banana.
Well, one thing we got to mention is Ghost. We were looking to them to pop off in that first half and finally awaken to this one. You can see UDA is able to flood off the back of that, getting the first pick in the last round with Seekers diving in, gets the first. Jets trading first bloods here. Seekers being the tip of that spear, cracking open the site. Now at a disadvantageous retake, but Seekers continuing to go forward, looking for the rest of the players. Shua is next, and Seekers wants it all. 2 players left now. Left alone onto the Gecko and Cypher. But with a 4v2, this Abyss B site is not something you want to be retaking with barely any util, especially with the way that Seekers is fragging.
Here.
Yeah. Kelp though with the response.
A beautiful shot out, but that's one of many that need to come out. NCrane still alone on site, and that should be Kelp most likely going for a save if she can even escape. Gets one onto Owen, but NCrane will finally sit her down. And that's UNCW riding the ship, at least for now.
And I do like that adjustment coming. I mean, I say adjustment, but it was just Seekers running out on the B site and just getting 3 opening frags. Like, some disgusting adjustments from them. And once again, going back to that same point of, I mean, just such great individuals on, I mean, both sides, but I mean, we're seeing it over and over again with Seekers, with BrodoBaggins. I mean, the star player potential is out of this world, and Ghost is going to be all left alone on this site. He has to be the star to save this UDA side, and he can't do it. Seekers with another opening blood.
Over the top there is Seekers winning out the Jet 1v1 once again. It seems like Ghost isn't really getting a chance to play the game. Seekers just continuing to dominate. There's another 2 kills to open up the round. Dashes in a bit over aggressive. Kelp is able to punish, and that could be the ticket to get UDA back into this round. The Thrash is online, and you have the Cosmic Divide as well, but taking a moment to get this retake all figured out. Settle in, try to figure out where these players are.
Thrash is online. Oh, but that
Spots out 3, and all of the frags going in favor of UNCW. It seems like they found their answer, that B site. The last 2 rounds, it's just been opening picks from Seekers and then solid fundamentals to close out the round.
Exactly. And they are going to be looking to switch it up here, I think, going over towards that A site. But I was liking what I was seeing over on B. It's pretty hard for UDA to actually get back into that B site, especially if their anchor players are going down so early. And I mean, Seekers has been so successful on getting those opening bloods, and they even stacked 3 players over towards the B site. 4, excuse me. And once again, it's just this no command play over towards the A site. But can they switch it up? Can they finally fix their mistakes from the last post plant?
It seems like
Here.
maybe they can. Seekers again getting aggressive, able to get one, but it's a 4v4 now, and that will be a rifle recovered. Of course, it is important to note that this is an eco round for UDA, so any damage would be good. And they have the ults and the utility to make this winnable. A beautiful stun out, but it's just the frag, the better weapons.
Enemy remaining.
It's all UNCW so far. Kelp able to get one for her troubles, but left alone with a stinger. Some chip damage, but as the clock is ticking, that should be it. And yeah, that's the round done and dusted. That'll be match point for UNCW. I don't know what UDA can do to get back into this one. They're going to need 5 in a row just to force overtime.
Yeah, and the great adjustment from the
Match
timeout
point.
coach. Getting their team back on track. And once again, I mean, we see they had the KO ult. They went over towards A. Now they don't have the KO ult. All right, let's just go back B. I mean, it was working. And now they have, I mean, they had the adjustment there. They had the stack on the B site for UDA. But now UDA kind of went back to their normal setup. And now it's just Ghost over on this B site. He's even playing off site, just going to be playing for that retake. And I kind of like this adjustment. Just try to get as many players over towards B as quickly as possible and then flood back on with Thrash, with that Cosmic Divide. We'll have to see how they approach it though, because it is going to be a 5v5 postman. You do have the lurk though from Philo.
And again, that bomb is planted, but finally an advantageous situation in the post plant for UNCW. Brodo, the paranoia to push aggro, but Kelp will pop that Thrash now. And that's going to clear the way for them. UDA pushing into that backside, but it's Brodo. Not cleared by the Thrash.
One
And
enemy
UNCW
remaining.
looking to close things out now, but it's left alone onto
Here.
Kelp. She needs a 1v2 to continue their live into this game.
Wingman's on
The
defuse.
wingman able to get on defuse and
Last player standing.
able to get the first on the Seekers now. Left alone, but Owen will close things out, and that's
Attackers win.
UNCW taking Abyss 13-7.
And while it was somewhat close, I feel like UNCW, I mean, came out ready to win. And I mean, we kind of just saw that. Look at that, old Brahmin. And Seekers with 10 first bloods.
Yeah.
10 first bloods.
I mean,
That is that is ridiculous.
I mean, Seekers,
In
Is-
20 rounds.
24 kills, almost half of them were first bloods. I mean, absolutely ridiculous from that UNCW duelist. And UNCW typically have that game plan where it is kind of just Seekers go kill, but with how consistent they have been in that entry position, I mean, it seems to be working, and it seems to be working consistently too. Seekers just playing with full confidence, taking those first engagements and
Mhm.
winning them a majority of the time.
Yeah, not just on attack, but as on defense as well. We saw the continued success of those aggressive pushes coming out for Seekers. I mean, pushing down mid, pushing over towards A, getting to, and being able to even just get traded out or get back. I mean, the value was immense. We'll have to see though if he can keep it up into map 2, or if Ghost and the rest of UDA can make a resurgence, make a comeback, and try to stick into this match for just a little bit longer, make it to a map 3, maybe take the series for themselves. Before that, we are going to send it to a quick break. Make sure to stick around because we will be right back in just a few minutes.
I can lead us in. All right. We're jumping right into the agent selective bind here. Let's see what these teams actually will decide to play. I mean, we saw UNCW switch up their comp for last week, opting to go towards that Viper Brim Sentinel comp with the solo Sky, and I think that could be a weakness. NCrane is such a good initiator player, but having only a single initiator, a single source of info, could lead to a bit of issues on both attack and defense sides.
Yeah, your Sky player definitely has to be very proficient with how they're using their utility because you only do have those two guiding lights now. I mean, you're typically seeing the Sky play over towards that B long area and kind of cycle that utility over and over, maybe the Sky Dog as well. And you really have to just be much more proficient at it than if you do. I mean, we can look directly at the other comp for UDA where they have two info initiators. Actually, typically you might see the Fade or the Sky with the Gecko, but here they're actually going for that Fade and the Sky, which I do like. I think it can provide a lot of just aggressive, overwhelming utility, similar to how the 100 Thieves Gecko comp works, but you don't have that wingman to plant the spike, which honestly, while it may seem a bit trivial at times, it can be a huge benefit for the attackers to send the wingman in and then have an extra gun fighting as the plant goes down, because a lot of how you're looking to play the bind defense is kind of just to stall that plant out, stall the plant as the rotators get there, and then you kind of just burst on to the retake. But we will be starting over on the defense once more for UNCW, and Seekers is going to have a lot to do over towards this shower position.
Yeah, last time UNCW played this map, on this defensive side, they really heavily prioritized their defensive showers, but early enough, it's Seekers to open up the kills in this map, getting a first one, and that's the Sky down. UDA now forced to rethink at least a bit of their approach towards this A site.
Yeah, and they are going to be grouping up
There.
3 over towards showers, and look at this. I mean,
There.
Seekers just has complete control over this, the Cypher Trapwire as well. The wall goes up, but you know nothing's going through it. You have 3 players over here for the UNCW side. It's going to be so hard
A
for
fourth player
Delaware
on the
to
rotate too. And that's
Yeah.
the toxic screen going back up, but as this site hit will come out, there are still 4 players here to receive from UNCW. A beautiful kill from this attack side, but raises trading frags 4 on the board, and that's the ace. Seekers! Oh my goodness, what a way to open up this map, continuing where they left off from Abyss.
That is disgusting work to open it up. And that's 6 ultimate orbs as well on their way to a showstopper. I mean, you cannot ask for a better start to the second map. Like you said, just continuing that dominant performance from the first map. And I mean, that can be a heartbreaker, but it also can just be kind of a wake-up call for that side of UDA. We cannot be getting aced on the pistol rounds on our own map pick as well. It's time to lock in. It's time to reset. We do see a couple of sheriffs being bought into this round for UDA, so some damage could be done. I like this. They are going over towards that shower's position, trying to maybe fight for the orb, deny that from Seekers, but Seekers is just getting that over towards B long. And Banana, I do like this. They're kind of swapping how you would traditionally see the Cypher playing, setting up over towards that A site early on, and then I suspect, or I hope, we'll see a bit of a switch up as the map continues, but just kind of sowing the seeds of doubt and kind of just messing with the conditioning for this UDA side. I like this approach a lot. Owen has a lot to do here.
Oh, stronger weapons on the side of UNCW. That's the opening pick going in favor, and that's 2 kills now. A 3v5 will need to be converted. Weapons are still in favor of UNCW, but that spike's ticking now. UDA just needs to buy time, and caught on the reload is that Raze. Seekers
The Bucky.
more heroics. 5-1, and now it's a 5v3. Showstopper already invested,
One enemy
and that's
remaining.
Owen diving in with the Cypher, now left alone onto the brim, but in a 3v1 with just a classic, and there it is. UNCW dealing with some turbulence there, but able to get out of that pretty cleanly.
They are able to get out of it with 3 guns at that, 3 rifles in hand. They did have to burn that showstopper. That would be, I mean, you're looking to ideally invest that into this round, the 3rd round of the half. Convert that bonus and start building up that snowball, especially, I mean, you want to get as many rounds on the defense as possible. We know, I mean, especially with this double initiator comp for the side of USA, I think once you actually get towards the sites and start building up, put it on, look at this flash play, it's gonna be so much to wind it up.
Aggressive play on the bonus, but UDA deals with it really well, able to get 2, and Seekers punish for their aggression on the other side of the map. Now 2 players left for UNCW.
One
Of course,
enemy
this is
remaining.
only a bonus, so any damage is good, but that's a flawless round coming out from UDA, getting their work done early in this one, not letting the lead build like we saw last map.
Yeah, quickly putting a stop to any funny business. And yeah, I mean, a great round. I mean, to start building up that economy early on. A pretty solid buy for both teams. Only half armor for Owen. Or, yeah, for Owens, or NCrane, excuse me.
Yeah,
But,
a lot of technical difficulties on our side, so.
yeah.
bit
But look at this position from Seekers. Once again, going aggressive banana. Do they check him?
They do, and that's really good game sense to be able to clear out Seekers from that aggressive position, knowing how they like to play, but the tripwire finally we see get a ton of value, able to spot out the boombot as well. Owen, such a staunch anchor of the site, typically not on the sentinel role for this UNCW team, but Owen playing it to perfection on this map, and that's another frag. A 4v3 now. A 3v2 as trades are even on that one, but a beautiful flash from NCrane spots out the first and the second. 3 rounds on the board for UNCW. NCrane taking matters into their own hands there.
Don't even start
Yeah,
that
able
shit,
to pick
teammate.
up that response round. And UDA will be able to have a buy into this still. Back only 1,900 credits gains with that economy being reset, but that flawless round from a few rounds ago just going to do wonders for that economy. You already have that orbital strike and ghost with the showstopper. I mean, these are the attacking tools. I mean, look at the ultimates for that UDA side. You have I mean, the same honestly could be said for both sides. All of these ultimates are round defining ultimates. You have the showstopper able to open up a round or close it out, the brimstone ultimate to do the same thing. And all of these can be a huge impact if UDA can start cycling these ultimates effectively. I mean, they might just start to pull away with this half. But once again, I mean,
as a map is typically seen as like, you can really start to snowball that attack side, like you mentioned. The ults getting online early for both these sides. We've already seen the showstopper invested from Seekers, farming up that orb in showers, giving it towards that Seeker. So that's one more ultimate that could come into play into this one. There it is, Ghost diving in and actually ripped out of the sky from Seekers. Owen gets one on top of that, able to be traded out, but the fade goes down, and that's now a 4v2. The defense side is just shutting down these rounds. The attack just not getting
Enemy remaining.
any space. NCrane
Down.
standing there waiting for the drop, and that's bombed down in the middle of sight now. Left
30
alone onto
seconds
Shua. That lurking Viper. A beautiful jump spot to spot them out though. And now in a 1v4, I think it may be too far. Tries to get one, but Seekers able to shut things down. That's 4 on the board now for UNCW.
and just as we were talking about trying to snowball the attacking side, I mean, you're kind of seeing UNCW do the same thing. I mean, not 6 rounds in a row to start it off, like on Abyss, but a pretty good start to the defense in general. I mean, you have the Seekers into this as well, and I like the general game plan coming out from UNCW, being aggressive on these extremities, fighting over map control aggressively, and Seekers doing it once again, but on the eco, he needs to get out of here. He can't give this weapon up, and he does. Ghost gets that opening blood.
A flash was, I think, popped there from NCrane, but just a little bit too late, and that should be a rifle recovered now. And you can see UDA still has a ton of ult on the board to work with, so this is a very winnable round. The Seekers and Nightfall is online, along with the Orbital Strike. And with the numbers advantage, they may be able to steal a round away from UNCW. NCrane now. Re-clearing with the dog. Plots out 2 towards long. But there's no movement from that. NCrane just going to reposition.
Yeah, just playing their life. And they really don't need to. I mean, they can't be giving away any more free kills to UDA. I mean, you have 3 ultimates online. The Seekers will be popped.
Spots out where these 3 site players are. Haunt reveals Philo in the back site, but they have nothing to clear this out. I don't know why they're not investing the Orbital Strike.
30
These
seconds
players on the attacking side are so low, and Philo able to capitalize off that. NCrane as well, and that's the entire UNCW side coming out to party. I mean, 4 players were alive there. They only dropped 1, and I know it was an eco, but I would like to see a bit more from the UDA side.
Yeah, and I don't mind the Seekers investment there, but I think especially on an eco rounds, I would like to see the Nightfall, to be honest, come out, and maybe the Orbital Strike if you get a lot of tags off of it. But the Nightfall deafens those players on the site A, but B, it also lowers their HP. So I mean, those eco weapons are great to just to actually get through and give great just opportunities to pick up frags. But that is in the past. We are into round 7. Seekers with a little bit of a trap play off this camera in showers.
There.
And
once
seems
again,
like they have a read of this. Do UDA. They're just playing slow, but the dog doesn't spot out anything as the Sky is hiding inside the TP. So it seems they're at least a little bit aware of this. UNCW, though, staying in their default, staying in their defensive setup. Shua, the lurking Viper, trying to get as much space as possible. Push to take all of Hookah. And now they're calling the rest of their team back. And it looks like they may get set up for a B hit. El Toro, a beautiful pick, but traded out, and that should speed up now. The B hit, there it is. Brodo, left alone on site in this garden position.
already,
what can they do?
Are they?
Help gets 1, and that's the Orbital Strike invested too, but does not find any damage.
And they're just gonna TP over back towards the A site. Time's low here.
Call. Only 14 seconds though. They do have this Orbital Strike to work with, but if Philo can get ahead of this one, they could really shut down the round. Gets 1, but bomb should be able to go down there. And there it is, a 2v3. These UDA players would need to work some magic. Being in the smoke, here's those players dropping. Pops the Orbital Strike. Unable to get 1 though. Left alone onto Shua. The 1v2 NCrane just taking that first fight and winning it out. That's 6 on the board, and it seems like when UNCW are on the back foot, that's where we see the prowess of these individuals come out to shine. We saw it there with NCrane getting 2 or 3 huge frags, excuse me. But UNCW just keep converting rounds where I feel like they're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, and finally a timeout being called from Ghost. And like you were saying, I loved actually the mid-round pivot from the side of Delaware Academy. They TP'd back over towards that A site, but Philo was just there to punish early, and then it kind of feels like UNCW have those mechanics down, have the fundamentals down, but the Delaware Academy is kind of just not really able, once they're in those difficult moments under the pressure, they're not able to convert those situations, which is fine occasionally, but whenever it's so consistently going the side of UNCW, that's where the issues arise, I feel. And they need to calm their nerves. They need to take a breath. They need to reset, because I think their macro strategy is honestly okay. I think it's good. I just think it's the small details that's kind of just biting them in the butt. With a 5 rounds deficit on the attack, it's not exactly what you want, but there's still plenty of Valorant to be played. It's definitely not over yet, Banana, but look at this from Seekers. We do have the showstopper in hands. I mean, we talked about the aggression from last map, and I feel like it's not stopped at all. Every single round, we're seeing some sort of aggressive push from this guy, and there hasn't been an adjustment made to kind of just like hold and punish early on.
There.
Yeah, and you see the toxic screen able to get them up, and Daylau able to get one to punish though, and that's the better weapons coming out for UNCW. But Seekers, the aggression not spotted, leads to a flank, and that's bombed down now. 2 players left alive for UDA. Shua is able to get one.
That's the Viper's Pit.
Semi-winnable though, but swatted out by Seekers. This last player from UDA though is unnoted, but they have the bomb, and that means that these UDA players have to approach them, have to come to them.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
One enemy
Seekers
remaining.
able to get the kill onto Shua. El Toro though,
Enemy remaining.
Gets 2, but NCrane, so reliable from that initiator position, closes out the round once again, and very similar scenes to the first map, up 7-1. Rest in peace, Brazil. But UNCW is dominating in this one, and Seekers is a second showstopper online already. NCrane, Seekers again. So it seems like they may just continue to run away with this one. But this is where the changes from that timeout should come into play. Rifles are on the board, and this is a huge one to win if you are UDA.
it is indeed. The Hawk coming out towards long, the dog as well. That's 2 pieces of informational utility burnt pretty early on. Should be noting this out if you're on the UDA side, and NCrane goes down, but do they check this corner for BrodoBaggins?
The frags come out. Brodo 3 as they swing through that toxic screen, pushes up a bit too overzealous and punished by Kelp. But again, Seekers is still alive. That's the showstopper. 2 huge ults to play with, but they're just playing slow, and I think they're playing a little bit timid, allowing for the plays to be made from UNCW. It seems like UDA is playing a bit reactive, waiting for the plays to come to them, but they're just too late with the aggression from UNCW and Seekers.
Yeah, I can't even blame them for... I mean, you gotta check that corner, but like, I understand the thought process to not really worry that much about it. The Nightfall is going to come out, as well as the Viper's Pit from Hookah. Kelp able to get one, and now into 2v2. The bomb is going to be tapped, but the flank is going to be coming quickly from Seekers with that showstopper.
And that's both these players noted now. Showstopper is popped, but only able to get some chip damage. Seekers diving headfirst into the Viper's Pit, but left alone now onto Owen. If he takes a step inside of that, he'll start to take some damage and slowly tick away. 2 frags to find, but Shua over the top, and that's a 2nd round on the board for UDA.
Great recovery for UDA, able to pick up the round win, get themselves a 2nd on the board, and that is huge to start building that round deficit, or kind of just ticking away at that round deficit. And now you did invest 2 of those ultimates. I hate to say it, but that's not really a repeatable round. You have the Viper's Pit that was committed to Nightfall as well, and BrodoBaggins going to commit a Viper's Pit of their own. Down long, it isn't the most ideal. It didn't go all the way down as he would have liked, maybe. It's a bit shallow.
Scout destroyed.
But they have a showstopper to deal with this.
Healing over here.
I mean, in last week's game, we saw Brodo make a huge play in that same pit. And it seems like they're going to reevaluate their strategy, our UDA.
Look at this.
To clear out, and it is spotted out. And
Look
now
at
the
all the
Seekers to
rotates,
reveal
though.
where these players are. 4 players already here for UNCW. They have the read, and Seekers diving
What
head
is
first into
this?
hookah. Gets the first, and
No
they're just
way.
not ready for it. NCrane supporting as well. Gets 2 on top of it. And finally, Seekers is punished, but with only 2 players left, there's still 3 players on site for UNCW, and that's going to force a pivot.
It's simply just psychotic what Seekers is going for and getting away with as well. He's not getting punished, just running into hookah, able to pick up 2, and just disgusting work. And now Owen wrapping around from short as well. There's no way they're ready for this.
Cam gets a tag, but the shots are not connected. El Toro
I've got
able
your
to get
trail.
1, and that could be their way back into this round. Seekers now invested, revealing where these 3 players are from UNCW. Philo taking a 1v1 towards U-Haul, but able to win it out now. Left alone onto the Brimstone. A beautiful reflank. I don't think they have the read on this. Shots connected. That's 3 on the round. A 4K needed. The Brim Molly to get him off plant, and Philo at so low damage. But, oh no! Is time bought? No, unfortunately.
So.
Bean could not win that out. It feels like they made all the right plays. A beautiful reflank into Showers, catching the backstab, but Philo able to close things out, and it's continuing the trend that we've seen all series. It seems like any time that UDA is making a great play, UNCW is right there, and one of their players is there to step up.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, I don't know if it's Seekers who's calling these aggressive mid-round pivots, or if it's the IGL for UNCW, but it's just throwing such a huge wrench into the UDA plan. It's insane. And now once again, we're seeing an aggressive pop flash over towards Market. They're gonna go 1-for-1, and that's not actually gonna be a rifle that they can pick up. We're gonna cycle it back towards site. Showstopper's gonna be committed. Owen
Dancing around Showers, but once again whiffs the shots, and that's El Toro getting a pick.
they
Site
need
game.
this round's banana.
Yeah. If they want to get even to an 8-4 half, they have to win this one. El Toro on 8 HP, trying to be that sentinel of Showers' side. But the Sky 1v1 is a huge, and there it is. All of the frags just go to UNCW, though. And there it is. Brodo gets 3, Philo gets 2. And it seems like when you're chopping off the head of that Hydra, 2 more players pop out. Philo and Brodo closing things out, and that's 9 on the board for UNCW.
The round just finished in an instant. You had El Toro pick up a frag, and then 3 more players just fell down. I mean, that is the worst case scenario, but it's not out of the waters just yet. Still around to be played for the attackers, and the Greater Water Bean holding on to this orbital strike and grouping up over towards this long position, and they're kind of just going back to honestly what we were seeing a lot of on Abyss, just grouping up, hitting towards these sites, maybe leaving 1 for a lurk.
But you feel like the mental for UDA has to be just in the dumps right now. I mean, it seems like every time they're getting into good positions and just can't win them out. They spotted out Seekers there, but unable to punish because of the beautiful util. And once that orb is refreshed as well, there's just nothing they can do. They can't even get a hold of Long at this point, and that's
They're instantly re-clearing.
I mean, so aggressive from Seekers, but you understand where that confidence is coming from. And now the pivot being called from UDA, but already UNCW have a read of this.
But they have to, I mean, you have to have, like, no map control for this side. Philo with this beautiful molly just to stall this a little bit. It's going to be a complete overwhelm. Look at Owen as well, over in this Showers position.
But Philo with the spam, and because he has a Phantom, there's no tracers on it. So just spamming through the Brimstokes. Brimsmokes. Shua able to get 1, but in a 4v2 Ghost gets 1, and now they have a chance. It is slightly winnable. Spike, though, hasn't been planted yet. And there's Philo and Owen towards Showers. They have a read of this. but Molly to stall out, and they swing through it. Aggressive, but 10 seconds left.
They have to get this plant
come in.
down.
Spike planted.
Finally. A 2v2 now. Owen with only a stinger in hand. Trying to recover a rifle, but Seekers, the beast is still alive, and goes able to sit them down now. Neural Theft reveals where these players are, but they're
Look at the
so
HP.
weak.
Yeah. One
Hangs
bullet.
out. On to the last two. One bullet will be needed for each. Over the top is Ghost. That's 4 into the round, and that's UDA somewhat salvaging this half,
Switching sides.
getting things back to at least a 9-3.
It's a lifeline. It is a lifeline for Delaware Academy. It's exactly what you want. And now, switching over to that defensive half, you don't have that Sentinel like we were talking about. You don't have the Cypher. You leaned more heavily into that double initiator, which I do think can give a lot of benefits in and of itself. You're able to really, the information game that you're able to play allows you to give your rotates a lot more freedom and flexibility, as well as your retake capabilities is just a little bit higher. We are going to be seeing just an early pivot over towards the shower. I like the emphasis that UNCW puts on the shower's position. I think it is so pivotal to hold the extremities over towards bind. You have the ultimate orbs, as well as just being able to pivot back in the mid round through the TPs. And just as a late play, if you're going just like 4 through short, it's an insane value for the map control. And
Yeah.
Seekers, what is that?
Diving in with the Viper and continuing to go. There it is. Trying to get out is the Brimstone, but Bean goes down and just continuing to push the aggression. Out from heaven is Shua, but finally smoked off. Left alone onto these two players. Kelp trying to fight her way back in and able to take down Seekers, but there's still 4 more players from UNCW left alive, and that spike is ticking.
It's a little jump peek from NCrane. Prowler from Kelp. Spots one out. This high-low double hold in U-Haul is going to be so hard to break. They have to get through Ukraine first. Not a single kill is picked up, and that's the second pistol round going to UNCW. 10 on the board, Banana.
Yeah.
And a dominant performance. I mean, Seekers, both of these pistol rounds is just doing madness. I mean, I don't know how he's getting 1, much less, like getting 2 and not getting like refragged. It's insane work.
Aggression that Seeker shows. I mean, we mentioned it when we were talking before the game, how their comp only has 1 initiator, so they are lacking the info that UDA has, but because of how Seekers is playing and the aggression that they show, they're able to relay that to the rest of their team and allow for UNCWs to make great calls just because of how far up and how aggressive Seekers plays that raid.
Yeah, and it's kind of, in a way, it's not just Seekers, but I think it's also UDA showing just so much respect to Seekers as well. Shua able to pick up a great kill. It will just be a ghost reclaimed for him, and Seekers is here to try to get that refrag.
But the weaker weapon, just not much you can do. Seekers, beautiful shots, but on these weaker weapons, not much that these UDA players can do. Getting circled, and there it is. BrodoBaggins closing out the round, 11-3. If you're UDA, you need a lot of rounds, and you need them fast.
Yeah, and we were talking about it earlier. The mental must be, and it can't be great right now for those UDA players. But I think in a situation like this, when you're down 3-11, you have to find some sort of inspiration, some sort of light to kind of just start that fire back inside of you, because you need that confidence. You can't just keep letting Seekers doing whatever, or like do whatever he wants. You have to punish this. You have to go into these fights, go into these rounds with confidence, with, I mean, without so much respect for your enemy, because you're just going to get continued to be rolled over. A little bit of a slower play here. I love this out from the defenders, but Seekers is on site by himself, and I don't think they heard that.
But that's the spike dropped. Seekers diving in way ahead of the team. And it's now discombobulated on this attack side, but that could be tough to deal with as a defender. Shua pushing up all the way. Spike still down towards that lobby area, but Seekers, like you said, not noted towards that CT side. How are they going to deal with this one, though? Spike is still down, and I don't know if they know about the Brimstone on site. Oh, that's the showstopper, though.
Eagle-eyed.
And there it is. That's 2 players left. And it's a wild round here. But this is where we've seen the individuals from UNCW come in. I mean, it was a 4v2, and now they've evened it out. Owen, though, going down, trying to re-clear. Do they have a read on Seeker's positioning, though? They don't. Showstopper still in hand, and Kelp is on 1 HP. A single shot would take this. Kelp needs to win out this one, and there she is able to do it. The fade with 5 HP, sitting down Seekers, and that's a huge round to convert if you're UDA.
Kelp coming in clutch for her team at the right time. That is exactly what you need. Just like you said, now 1 away from the Nightfall as well. We were talking about how you can cycle those ultimates on attack. Well, guess what? You can do it on defense just as well. I think it's start to build these up. Win the economic or the ult economy battle. It might be looking good. Fighting over towards this B long and trying to farm up this orb early.
But look at their defense compared to UNCW's defense, right? They just instantly have to give up the space, and that allows for the rest of the team to dive in. Seekers gets 1, but that's 2 kills in favor of UDA.
Yeah, I like the aggression there, but it wasn't, the micro utility wasn't that well coordinated, and Kelp was able to just quickly farm up those kills. Now left on her own into elbow, gets 1.
Spots out Philo too, and there's the Nightfall being invested. I don't know that it should have been sent in that direction. Seekers to counter, and that's a 1v2 now. Kelp was the hero of the last round, but has to do it again. And NCrane healing up Philo. A bit of an aggro swing, but the time is ticking. 1 Prowler still to work with. Spots out 1, and NCrane is spotted out 2. But the frags need to go. And there it is. NCrane, a 3K to close things out. Match point now for UNCW.
The great reaction you were talking about it, the aggression early on. The defense kind of just has to fall back. And that's what you were missing last half from the Delaware Academy. Just kind of disrespecting the defense and pushing on no matter what. Seekers just brimming with confidence. And now
It's
8 chances to close it out. Yeah, I mean, it really is, yeah.
This entire side of UNCW is just playing so aggro, and when you have a player like Seekers, it allows the rest of the team to play a bit more freely because you know you have that steady entry. And like, look at this, just disrespecting the molly, forcing Shua to vacate that hookah position. Playing close to that toxic screen, but NCrane able to get the frag now. Kelp, the only player on site, seeing if they can take it timing, and there it is. Gets 1 and gets out. That's a beautiful shot from Kelp to even things out now. But in a 4v4, they still got to break their way back into sight.
All these players are here for UDA. Flood back onto site. Ghost
wins that out with the stinger. Kelp gets a second one, pulls out the classic, swapping the rifles, just playing gun game over here. The Prowler to spot where Brodo is. And now Spike will be stuck. Half is on it, but there it is. Kelp a 3K, keeping her team alive. But there's still a lot of work to be done.
Both rounds for the defense have kind of been, well, I mean, not necessarily all that first round, all on the back of Kelp, but clutched out by Kelp now, another 3K. But overall, a great reaction from the defenders. Fall back into those like deeper positions, into sight, into elbow, back into CT, and then as bomb is coming down, kind of flood back in as and quickly overwhelm the post plant attackers. Great adjustment, but it's still a long and arduous road ahead. They want to take it to a map 3, to take it to overtime.
They're not hiding their intentions, diving straight into this one, into U-Haul, but that's where the judge thrives. Philo able to get 1, and that's sight given up now, but it was costly. 2 players left alive. And these UDA players are fast on their flank. 2 ults still to use if they opt to, but these weaker weapons are in the hands of these UNCW players.
Remaining.
Bomb buddy out.
Help gets another one.
Yeah, talk about fundamentals. You love to see that higher lower right there and just holding it down, making sure they're not giving away any free kills here. And now it's just left to BrodoBaggins, and I think you just really aren't NCrane, excuse me. And plant will come down 2 away from the Seekers,
Planted.
but there's so much on the other side to face him.
Prowler broken, but in the 1v3, we would need to see some insane heroics from NCrane. Doesn't know where that 3rd player is. Lurking towards short is Shua, but coming out of U-Haul, NCrane got off the first shot but couldn't land it, and that's another one on the board. Now, let's see if UDA can continue this. They have a ton of ults to play with, but it needs to be flawless from here on out.
Yeah, help already with that second Nightfall of the half online. Just farming up those ultimate orbs, and El Toro only 1 away from the Seekers as well. But on the other side, I'm looking at this Viper's Pit on BrodoBaggins.
Yeah.
Banana, I mean, if they can get the bomb down and get the pit committed as well, it's going to be really hard. No matter how many ultimates you have, getting back into a pit with so much post-plant stall as well.
Yeah, they have Cypher.
It's a hard ask.
They have Cypher, Brim. I mean, you have both 2 round-winning post-plant ults if they're able to get the bomb down, but that's a big if. We already see the Viper's Pit invested towards that long area, and the rest of these players, aside from the Sky, all have their ults. So things could get chaotic. 8 rounds in play. Let's see how they are actually used. The Seekers invested. Triggers this attack side. Hawk sent towards U-Haul. Seekers diving in and trying to find a timing. Seeker swings through the smoke, and BrodoBaggins pinches in from U-Haul. A beautiful crossfire setup on the fly there. And now it's a 5v2. Smokes in their face. Left alone onto Kelp and Shua. We've seen them work their magic before. The Nightfall, though, Seekers playing so aggro in this one. Kelp able to punish, and that's the first one down, but a long list of checkboxes that you got to mark off. Owen knows where Shua is. Spots him out on the cam. That clock is ticking, and there it is. Owen encircling the orbital strike, and that should be it. Philo will close things out 13-6. UNCW winning this one in convincing fashion.
A 2-0 victory for UNCW over the University of Delaware Academy. A great showing from the UNCW team. And I mean, on both maps, Banana, I know we talked about it a lot during the cast, but I feel like we have to just talk about Seekers. And also just the aggression that the whole team came out with. The game plan to just set Seekers up and just kind of let him thrive and do whatever he wants, both on attack and defense. And just say, yeah, you can go just kill whoever you want. We'll do what we can to support you. And I mean, it worked. I mean, that's going to make UNC 7-1 in the NECC season. A great record be holding.
And they've done it in dominant fashion. I mean, nearly flawless, like we mentioned, with the 7-1. Again, rest in peace, Brazil. Gotta keep mentioning that.
You always have to throw it
from
in there.
that UDA side. I still think there are a ton of positives that we could look back on. I mean, Kelp, from that initiator player, got so many key frags in one, and stole honestly a couple of rounds away from UNCW to try and keep her team alive in that game. But UNCW, it just seemed to be overwhelming, their individual prowess coming out on full display.
Yeah, most definitely. And we do have to give a shout out to UDA. Well, you mentioned while they may have not gotten the victory, they still had some good moments, a good display, especially from some of those players, like you were saying. So just wanted to say thank you to all of them for letting this match be streamed. And thank you to all the viewers who came out to support these teams and watch as well. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of the patrons as well who are helping support the UNCW broadcast, as well as the Carolina Game Summit to supplying the broadcasting equipment. Definitely a super helpful just set of community. So thank you
Yeah.
for everyone who helps put these productions together.
Big
Looking
thank
forward.
you to everyone. Big
Yeah.
thank you, of course, to my co-caster Zero. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And of course, a biggest thank you to the viewers for watching this, making this possible.
Most definitely. Well, I believe that is going to be all for us tonight, but make sure to stay your eyes peeled in case there's any more Valorant broadcast coming up. I know there's going to be some shortly, so make sure you tune into those. You're not going to want to miss them. Going to be some exciting matchups. But for now, that's going to be all. We'll catch you in the next one.